All right, welcome back, folks. And now we're at the big step. You have your ideal avatar, you've compiled your list, you crafted the perfect email. Now it's time to get into the inbox of your prospect. But before you load up your message and click send, there's a few things we need to get through. Now, begin with considering your avatar again and what you think the prospect would be most receptive to. Might be something informal, or you may need to project more of a professional image. So, either way you go, the best mail platform for our purposes is brought to you by Google. Using Google services is going to help your inboxing. It's easy to set up and you can scale it. And you'll see exactly what I mean later in an over-the-shoulder video. Now, if you're going to approach more informally, just a normal Gmail account will do just fine, especially for the blue collar trades such as plumbing or HVAC or freelancers or creative types even. Since a simple Gmail email can come across as less threatening than a slick custom domain email address. And besides, many of these types of businesses use free email accounts as well. So when using a Gmail account, I highly recommend that you do not use your own personal Gmail account for cold emailing purposes. What you ought to do is establish a new one specifically for cold emailing. Now, ideally, you should have a separate Gmail account that's been aged with normal usage. But if not, you're going to need to first warm up the account. And what that means, warming up an account means establishing a pattern of normal usage for a new account. In other words, after creating a new account, use it to send and receive regular emails as if you just started, a new personal email. Email your friends, other marketers, customer service reps, people like that. By no means should you start off using it to blast, the same cold email to cold prospects. What's going to happen in that case is Google will detect that kind of activity, and they're going to flag your account for spamming, which in turn affects your deliverability and inboxing rates. So warm up your account for at least a week. And I do realize that you probably can't wait a week to start sending emails, but the thing is, this step is extremely important. Think of it as the foundation of your emailing house. If you start sending cold emails without warming up the account, you're on a foundation of sand. You'll end up wasting more time later trying to recover from a flagged account than if you did it correctly to begin with. Also, if you do create a new Gmail account, don't create a handle that's inappropriate or cutesy. Use some variation of your name, maybe with a number, or use a company name. But, to go back to my earlier point about being less threatening, if your handle is, for example, moreprofitsmarketing@gmail.com or something like that, you can be certain your message will never see the light of day. So keep it low-key and not overtly salesy. Now, if you need a more formal and professional approach, you can still leverage the Google machine to help your cold emailing efforts. So what you do is you sign up for a Google Apps account, which allows you to use the Gmail engine with your own custom domain name. You can use one of your existing domains to attach to a Google Apps account, or you can purchase a domain dedicated entirely to cold emailing. My advice is to create a dedicated domain just for emailing. Now, why is that? If you use an existing domain and you've already been using it for regular email correspondence, you'll need to change the MX records on your host server, and this could pose a problem, especially if you have multiple mailboxes or inbox or aliases associated with that domain. Also, if you trip up and you get flagged as a spammer, it's easy to throw away a new dedicated domain over your existing main business domain. If you do create a new domain and a Google Apps account for emailing, the same rules apply for warming up an account. And also the same rules apply for choosing a domain. You need to choose something non-threatening, such as xyzresources.com. And again, that's to try to avoid being overtly salesy, like something like increaseclientsmarketing.com or something like that. So in the next video, I'll actually have a detailed walkthrough for you showing you how to set up the Gmail MX servers. It's not hard, but you have to know what to do. Otherwise, you'll struggle to set it up. But we'll explain everything in the next video. But for now, there's a difference between bulk product emails, which accounts for about 81% of spam, and one-to-one emails to a targeted business audience. So under the CAN-SPAM Act, you're able to send emails to business people that you do not know. However, you want to make sure you're complying with the rules that the FTC has outlined, and lucky for you, that really isn't difficult to do. There are a couple of spam tips and things you need to incorporate in order for your email to see the inbox instead of a junk box. The most important thing is to not misrepresent who you are. Your from, the to, and the reply to information needs to identify who you are. And don't push your luck by using misleading subject lines, and just keep it real, keep it plain, keep it simple. Moreover, do identify if the email is an ad, because if it is an ad or like a special coupon offer or something like that, you need to make sure it's labeled like that. Okay, include your business address, which can be a PO box or a physical address, whatever's better for you. And if you have to include that, the ideal placement is in your signature line, which we've already talked about. So also make sure you give them an opt-out option. Now, you don't have to use an unsubscribe link, which actually takes away from some of the personalized aspects of the email. But instead, somewhere in the email, maybe say something like, if they are really, ask them if they're the right person to contact on that particular issue. And that's a good alternative to an unsubscribe link, and it still keeps things personal. And then, always honor the opt-outs. If some prospects are sure they don't want any future emails, make it your business to not bother them anymore with any more messages. Okay, and finally, to avoid spam, you have to know what others do or send on your behalf. And if it comes to that, and it's pretty much all you need to pay attention to. Warming up your account properly is going to go a long way towards keeping your emails out of the spam box. The other way to inbox is often based on just following the email crafting techniques we went over.